PC gaming has been popular ever since computers have been around. The first real introduction of gaming was the first video game back in 1958. And then in 1971, the ever so annoying Pong that everyone always mentions whenever I talk to anyone over 50 about video games.
You know, back in my day, we didn't have none of these sports, all right? Well, you know what we had? We had Pong. See, I bought that little game before you were even conceived, you hear me? In fact, I could probably best you even with your new fancy dancy gaming skills. You should let the King of Pong give your new esports a whirl.
Leaderboards didn't exist and neither did
I once
broadband
hosted
internet.
the biggest Pong tournament in the world to prove that I was the greatest.
6.5 hours later.
And that is how I defeated my greatest rival.
1 eternity later.
Then I sold the machine because I was changing lives, and I grew up like you should, insignificant piece of trash. We had it so much better.
With the booming video game industry and in turn booming processing power, a specialized part of a new computer was designed to render three-dimensional graphics and user interfaces. Normal computers are made up of just a few parts. You have your CPU, or central processing unit, which is force-fed information by computer RAM or memory. Those are attached to a motherboard, which also has a storage drive plugged into it, and a power supply to feed power to everything. Slap a cooler on that, and that's literally it. Computers aren't that complicated, fix your own problems. It's almost always a software problem. Damn, quit feeding HP's sick addiction of ripping people off with these cheap plastic computers and shiny new webcams that 95% of the time don't even have a pre-installed driver on a motherboard that was bad 10 years ago. There's one part of a computer that isn't necessarily needed for normal day-to-day work on a computer, and that's the graphics card. What a graphics card is really good at is rendering 3D spaces and animations. But Mr. Teacher, sir, why can't the CPU do that? Well, the answer is simple. It can, but it doesn't want to. That's like giving a Harvard professor a multiplication test.
You wanna code some pixels, CPU?
Ow!
I did not go through 8 years of schooling to go and code some pixels with the likes of you.
Let's go some pixels!
A GPU will be able to render graphics a lot faster than a CPU could. This makes it crucial for delivering high-quality graphics quickly. Just take a look at this gameplay. As you can see, this is the battle for market supremacy between Intel and AMD fighting over your wallet, and with the graphics card, the game looks much better. The main company that creates graphics cards is NVIDIA. Intel messed around with some scientific cards, and AMD makes cards too, but no one really asked. Graphics cards tend to be really expensive, costing almost half of the total price of a normal PC. Luckily, building a PC tends to be around 30% cheaper than buying one, so while getting a card might make your wallet cry a little bit, you can always drown out the sorrow with the sound of your brand new jet turbine.
This, my friends, is what positive air pressure looks like.
NVIDIA releases graphics cards based on generation, and the highest quality card from the last generation, or the flagship, went for about $1,200. However, Jensen Huang, or as the guy in the leather jacket as everyone knows him as in the graphics card industry, put a camcorder up in his kitchen and made the equivalent of this announcement.
Hey NVIDIA gang, how are we doing? So today we are going to show off some crazy new graphics cards. Now I might be going out on a limb here, but this is like one huge leap, and dare I say, the greatest leap in performance in one generation for the last decade. Check this out, 1/3 of the price and marginally better performance. We don't even have one at the same price as our flagship from last generation, unless you count the. By the way, like and subscribe if you like the name. So let's continue. BF GPU, get it? Because like.
But Jensen, where's the BF GPU?
Oh, I just left it in there to heat up in the oven. We packed so many microchips into this power-hungry card that it can game at an unreasonable and impractical 8K resolution, just like the 1% of you who can afford an 8K TV, and the 20-some display port cable splitter to enjoy a bog standard 60 FPS experience.
But doesn't that mean that the thermals are terrible?
Shut up!
Did you know that everything from smartphones to gas pumps use microchips to operate? Pretty neat, huh? These microchips require specialized equipment in factories to make. These same factories make all types of computer parts. The only problem is that they got shut down during COVID just like everything else did. This is a simple supply and demand equation then. A lot of demand and not much supply. You would expect prices to go up slowly as the demand ran lower and lower. This supply and demand curve was created by Alfred Marshall in 1890 after the father of economics, Adam Smith, wrote about it extensively in his book The Wealth of Nations, which is very popular. Expectations of these so-called laws are few and far between, and the most common of which are monopolies, such as Standard Oil or AT&T back during the Industrial Revolution. These companies using their monopoly to overcharge for a certain good. Back in the day it was oil or telephones, and now it seems to be graphics cards.
What about AMD graphics cards?
No one asked, Lisa! The question is why Nvidia did not start charging a lot more for their graphics cards, and I believe this is where history isn't going to repeat itself. During the beginning of the Industrial Revolution, and even later on, protests on worker pay and prices were common to the point that you could even argue that there was a protest culture. Companies learned during this time that thinking in such money-scheming ways blatantly was going to ruffle more feathers than they would like to. Either that or they're scared of Uncle Sam splitting or dissolving their company. I believe that cancel culture also plays a large impact on the decisions that companies make now. And if Nvidia were to make a poor move, they'd risk letting AMD's stock take a breath of slightly less irrelevant relief. I put a bit together to explain what I'm saying about company accountability.
What's up, loser? Shouldn't you be inside with the dust clouds? I'd get back to work if I were you. I wouldn't want something to happen to you.
It's my day off, actually.
Day off? Never heard of it, worker bee.
And I haven't been paid yet.
You'll get paid soon enough.
Well, I've been working for 8 months and I haven't seen $1 for it.
So
yet.
what? You'll manage. It's not like you're making anything considerable anyway.
I can't eat tonight if I don't get paid.
Listen, man, it doesn't matter how you die, whether it's asphyxiation or starving to death, your purpose will stay the same, so quit wasting my time and go back to work.
Excuse me?
Yes, valued worker.
I've been working here for 8 months now, and I went to the dentist and they wouldn't cover my expenses. I tried to show them my employee badge, but they wouldn't take it as a pet badge.
Well, you're a part-time worker. It's not really established.
Listen, buddy, just wait. Just you wait until my 3 million TikTok followers find out.
No, anything but that!
This is ridiculous! She's a part-time worker who is given medical benefits because she lives in California and works 25 hours a week. She's so broke she pays next to nothing in taxes.
But she has 3 million TikTok followers, sir.
Peer pressure, 80% capacity, sir.
Stock prices dropping, sir. 2% per minute.
Media manager!
Yes, sir.
Make an announcement. Designate all accounts to make apology posts.
Aye, sir.
Pin the blame on an internal miscommunication between the McDonald's office and her dental office.
Yes, sir.
Business executive.
Hi, sir.
I need expenditure for full medical and dental.
I'll have it arranged.
Stocks are stabilizing, sir.
Damage report.
Minus 20%, sir.
Media pressure, 50%.
We're settling now. Make up some social BS to make us look sincere.
Yes, sir.
And you, do some research to figure out if there are any other cases of companies messing with workers. Try to get Wendy's and Burger King mixed in there, and Domino's because they messed up my order last week.
Yes, master.
Stocks are stable, sir. We are out of the wind.
Wendy's took the bait, sir. Domino's is messed up, and I think that Subway... Did you ask for Subway?
I asked for Wendy's!
Sorry, sir!
The fast food industry is being labeled as an unworkable sweatshop by the media, and now the workers are rebelling for fun, and they're getting charity benefits.
Curse you, Karen!
Enough with the history lesson, though. Back to the modern era. If Nvidia didn't take advantage of this somewhat monopolistic situation, then someone was, and it was these two that did.
I am a scalper that is charging 4 times what I bought this for, and I won't even throw in shipping. I program my bots to buy 20,000 cards from Best Buy and 40,000 from Amazon. I am the Senate. Now fork down the cash if you want a stable frame rate.
Hey gang, I'm Xander, a Bitcoin miner that's too poor to move next to a nuclear reactor to pay for an ATVI. So I bought a few hundred graphics cards with a bot and 3 tanks of liquid nitrogen to cool it. My net worth in Bitcoin is a few million, but if I wait just a little while longer, I could have much more, I swear. I know I had the mortgage back. Please pay for the house. It'll be all worth it, Martha. Give it time.
It's not just new generation cards that are being bought up anymore. Older cards are overpriced too. So if you look in your PC and see a card sitting in a PCIe slot, sell it quickly. Just remember that buying another one is going to be a traumatizing experience for the next few years, or whenever COVID's done.
Hey gang, I'm a Bitcoin miner that's too poor to move to next...
Exercise? I thought you said extra fries. I did a push-up today. Well, actually, I fell down, but I used my arms to get back up, so...
Come on. Say your line. Not hard. Get out! Get out! Get out!
I
Get...
think my iPhone's broken, because I'm clicking the home button, and I'm still at work. About that little game way before you were conceived, okay? In fact, tell you what, I'll tell you. A balanced diet is chocolate in both hands. Okay. Moms are like, one more time. They're like dads, only smarter. I'm divorced. I hate you, Jason. You took the kids. I have a disease called awesome. You wouldn't get it because you don't have it.
And you! Do some research to figure out what companies...
No!
Mommy's busy right now. Live, laugh, love.